Hey everyone, you're watching News Insights.
Who is the president of Imperial College London, and Dr. Leela Gandhi. She is the academic co-director of Imperial Global India. And I would like to invite Professor Liu to take us through today's presentation.
Thank you all for joining us. As has been said, my name is Liu. I've been president of Imperial now for 3 years. I'm a nephrologist, so kidney disease, dialysis, transplantation, and my journey has taken me from Dublin in Ireland to Toronto in Canada for clinical training. Most of my research career at Harvard Medical School, and then this is my third university president position. I hope that is definitely better. I've had the pleasure of coming to India almost every year except during COVID since 2000, and it's just fantastic to see, particularly over the last few years, the phenomenal momentum and energy in the science and technology space. It's really palpable, and we're just delighted to be part of it. For those of you who don't know Imperial, I'll just say a few words about it, and then what we're planning to do with our Indian partners through the Imperial Global India. Imperial is quite different on the world stage for a number of reasons. First, it has a STEM B focus, so it has 4 faculties: natural sciences, engineering, medicine, and business. The second, I would say, it prides itself in doing multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and increasingly convergent science at a greater scale than most universities that I've either worked in or visited. That's part of the DNA of the institution. Thirdly, I'd say that innovation is also part of the DNA of the institution. So even at Student Open Day, students will say they come to Imperial because they want to start a company or solve a problem. And then it is, of course, a university that is located in London, but very much global in outlook. Just flick through these slides. So we years might look like, and out of that came, I think, a number of priority areas. People were firstly very proud of Imperial's ranking, and I'll show some of the data in a few minutes, and they're in your pack. But particularly to be ranked number 2 in the prestigious QS world: healthier, smarter, safer, more sustainable, and more prosperous. So the next question was, well, being very proud of our ranking and having that ambition to achieve more impact, how do we do that? And out of that came 2 things. One, that focus on convergent science that I mentioned, but secondly, a prioritization of internationalization as a way of us expanding and building greater scale in our research and innovation activities, and enhancing the impact of our research. So how are we addressing that? Well, the first thing we did was look to see what are the areas of the world where we have the greatest densities. The first was in Singapore, the second in San Francisco, the third in Accra as our West Africa hub, and then the fourth, which we're launching tonight, is Bangalore as our India hub. What we're not doing, we're not establishing a branch campus. Other universities I know are doing that, but that's not our priority. We think that we can have the greatest impact working with Indian partners in the research and innovation space. So our ambition is that we build on very strong foundations. So as an example, over the past 5 years, our researchers have jointly published almost 2,000 research publications with Indian collaborators across over 300 institutions. Why we chose Bangalore is because we have particularly strong collaborations with IISc and the National Centre for Biological Sciences. that collaboration has grown over many years. And to give you one very concrete example, we're now jointly part of the Eric and Wendy Schmidt AI for Science fellowship program. So we have that very strong collaboration. What we will be focusing on particularly is looking at the priority areas that the UK and India agreed through the Technology Security Initiative. So areas such as quantum, clean tech, health tech, materials, AI, which are very much priority areas already from Imperial. And then looking with partner institutions in Bangalore and other parts of India to build PhD programs of scale, so that we're really starting to see true collaboration and a bi-directional, very importantly, flow of idea, technologies and talent between Imperial and our India partners. And mainstreamed into that experience will be innovation. Because again, for us, that is a distinctive part of the Imperial experience at all levels. And we're delighted, let me just flick through these slides. I think I've said most of them. And we really look forward to, I suppose, co-creating a very exciting and impactful science and technology future with our. I'm particularly delighted that we have two fantastic co-directors, one of whom is here beside me, who will be spending a lot of time working with Indian partners and to tell you over the next few years as we roll out and expand our programs and partnership.
AI, quantum, and the next area is health, and the last area is clean tech and climate tech, and those are the three areas where we have a lot of collaborations already in place, and where we have a lot of expertise also on our home campus in London. And your next question was how big the team is going to be. So there's going to be 3 personnel here in India, and we're working with the DSR office here. So we're going to have 2 members of staff going to focus on student-facing aspects and 1 on partnerships. And we're currently exploring options for locations where this DSR office is going to be based.
And maybe to give you, so we're being deliberately non-committal on size, because actually part of what's worked well with our other hubs is the co-creation bit with our partners. And to give you an example, so the Singapore hub started off a year ago with a similar staffing level, and already has 40 million of research funding in 2 particular areas in the cybersecurity of medical devices and decarbonisation of the maritime industry. And each of those has a very substantive collaborative program involving PhDs, postdocs and PIs in both countries working on them on the Create campus in Singapore. And there are 2 others in the pipeline. So I think what's important is first the reviewing the landscape with our Indian collaborators, identifying areas where there should be a win-win, identifying research funding opportunities in both countries. I mean, where we have been successful before. So in the past, we've had over 170 billion of research funding for India deal, and how do you Imperial degree in London more available to Indian students? So that fund is growing and is part of our campaign for Imperial. So it's something we have established and will grow. We have another fund which is for bilateral mobility of PhD students. We have another seed fund for for investigators on both sides who are seeking to build a research program in a priority area for which there is ultimately a target, whether that be Indian National Research Foundation or the EU or UKRI for ourselves. So what we found is that if you have a menu of scholarship, mobility, scholarship funding, mobility funding, and seed funding, that works very well to really drive the ecosystem forward. And we've done that, proof of principle for doing that in other areas, in the other hubs, for example.
I'm a lecturer in the Dyson School of Design Engineering and one of the co-directors for the new Imperial Global India Hub. We are really excited to be here today because we are launching the hub, and we are really excited about the future collaboration opportunities together with Indian institutions, expanding research, working on tricky problems, and advancing science and innovation. Why Bangalore?
Yeah.
Because it's a fantastic innovation hub. You have a huge amount of startups here. It's a great innovation ecosystem. And we also have our partner here, our strategic partner, the IISc. We have an MOU with them, and a lot of researchers are working with the IISc. So this is why we have chosen Bangalore as our initial hub location. But it doesn't mean we're not working with any other research institutes. We're also looking to connect with other IITs, for example, and other universities. So it is just our initial gateway because we have existing partnerships here.
Have you collaborated with Indian companies too?
Myself, actually not, but we have a grant fund at the moment running with Tata, so a big center at Imperial College looking at decarbonizing steel, and that is our partnership that we have at the moment going on.
What is the mission of Imperial in India? What is the mission?
Our overall Imperial mission?
Yeah.
It's to do good, benefit society with science and innovation, and I think this also applies for India. But we want to collaborate with India and developing cutting-edge science together with Indian scientists and innovators.
In the expansion plans in the future?
Sorry?
Expansion plans.
So the thing is that we have the right people, and that starts with the students. So Indian students are absolutely fantastic. I can tell from my experience they're incredibly bright. Student from India, Avia, and they're just absolutely brilliant. So we need to get students initially involved, so that they're going from India to UK, and then also researchers. So looking at fellowships and how we can really enable an exchange. Yeah, countries.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.